as far as gambling is concerned, AGCOM is the regulator, the national regulator for media, telecom, digital platforms, postal services, and other stuff, copyright protection online, and last but not least, communication in gambling, advertising in gambling. The most important regulator is the custom agency, which provide the licenses, the authorization, and they are the real regulator. We only cover a part of it. Anyway, it is an important part because in a competitive market, it has been called a regulated market from our host here. But it's also true that being a regulated market, it means it's a competitive market. And therefore, the competitors need to be able to communicate to the general public in order to achieve the mission. As Christian was pointing out, the situation from 2018 up to now has been a bit composite. The market has grown overall, though the overall prohibition of communicating, which came out in 2018, was mitigated by guidelines promoted by AGCOM, because the government at the same time, while prohibiting communication, gave us the powers to make some modification to the existing law. So the final result of that was that it was actually possible to communicate and to reach the overall public. The situation changed again in 2024 with another decree, which essentially, as far as we are concerned, forced the operators to invest in responsible gaming. There is this new element in the gambling communication, which is responsible gaming. For somebody, this is just a fig leaf. It's a buzzword. It's paying lip service to nothing. For some others, it can be treated from a more scientific point of view, and this is what we are trying to achieve. We just finished a public consultation at the end of May, and the consultation got a big response from all the operators, also from abroad, not just from the Italian competitors, but from a number of players across the world. Good sign of interest for the market. And in the consultation, we tried to put out an initial text providing some indication on what is responsible gaming. I have to say that the consultation was very useful because in the initial document we put out some ideas, some also controversial ideas, and the reaction that we got from the market was really interesting because I have to say we benefited enormously from the input that we received. We had a number of concrete suggestions and indications on how to deal with responsible gaming. Of course, we also had our ideas. One idea is to make the whole concept of responsible gaming more scientific. And luckily, we have the very recent publication of a European standard. I'm referring to the CEN standard, which was recently adopted in June, which targets precisely responsible gaming in terms of the actual behavior of players. So behaviors like waking up in the morning and the first thing you do is playing repeatedly for a number of hours, playing more than you can afford, and other stuff. If you put these behaviors in focus and you transform them in campaign communication in order to address some of the specifics in terms of responsible gaming, then perhaps you have a key which may allow the players, the competitors, and also the institutions to address this responsible gaming idea in a more, let's say, structured and scientific way. So this is one example of transforming a vague concept into something more solid and robust. Of course, there are many elements to the to the consultation, and the idea is to come out hopefully before the summer with a structured document which should provide the market with a number of specific indication on what you are supposed to do in terms of communicating this responsible gaming. Also because, as I mentioned again, the operators are forced to invest money in this kind of communication. It's a novelty, I would say. I don't know in how many markets the operators are forced to invest a significant amount of money in their communication budget in order to address the issue of responsible gaming. Yes, in terms of tackling the illegal communication of illegal providers, this is clearly a crucial point, and it also belongs to us. We work together with the custom agency. They take down a number of sites every day, but of course it's not enough, and what we need is a more robust action in terms of contrast to the illegal communication, because otherwise the communication by licensed operator remains constrained at the expense of, in the end, the revenues for the Italian revenue service. So what we are trying to achieve, it's, as we did in the past, we also sanctioned some digital platforms. We sanctioned Google. They paid a heavy sanction in the past, and I think we need to be able to intervene at that level. We see all kind of proliferation in terms of unauthorized tipsters on social networks, and this is something that has to be constrained. If nothing else, because there are licensees which are operating correctly, and what we don't need is unfair competition. Let's put it this way. Then, of course, the illegal has a number of implications which go well beyond our mandate. But as far as our mandate is concerned, it's high time we do something more structured in this regard. With regard to prediction market, it's not something that I would like to touch upon. It's a very complex issue, or it's very simple if you like. But anyway, it's I will leave that outside our discussion today.
Sure.
In order to return to the, not just to the market, but also to the consumer association, to the scientific bodies which participated in the consultation and so forth. So to give something back, we are striving to provide a text which can be immediately operational and provide some clear indication on what the operators are supposed to do when communicating in terms of responsible gaming, but also in general on the communication on gambling, because there is no fixed boundary between the responsible gaming idea and the overall. So there are some elements which will be touched upon in the final text. It also depends on our board, but as far as the offices are concerned, we try to publish to provide something before the summer holiday. So we see if we can publish something before general August issues.
The new